Hey, it's Dr. Walker again, and I want to give you some hints and tips and tricks about the assignment for week 5. What we're going to be talking about is how do you, and ultimately the issue you care about, get the attention of decision makers. Building legislation for social justice reform is a long, tedious, and complex problem. For the process to fully pay off, the social worker must get their proposals placed on a committee's or a delegation's agenda. Why do some proposals or actions get noticed when others don't? Multiple factors need to be considered when trying to get on the agenda, including the background and concerns of the decision makers themselves. But the social worker can use multiple skills that you have or are developing to navigate the agenda building process. First of all, you have political skills. You can analyze and engage in the political stream. You have analytic skills. You can develop and use data in the problem and solution areas. You have interactional skills, and this is one of social work's biggest ones. Help problems and solutions reach policy deliberation in agency and legislative settings. You can persuade people to consider specific issues and solutions. You can participate in committees and task forces, and you're good at organizing coalitions. You actually have value clarifying skills, which are really important. And they will help you decide whether to invest your energy in promoting an issue in the first place and help you decide how to frame it. This week, you will discuss the strategies for gaining legislative allies who have the power to place your concerns on a legislative agenda. In addition, you will walk through the steps of the agenda building process and consider how those steps apply to the social problem and policy that you have chosen for your social change project. Social change occurs when a person or group gains the attention and support of decision makers. Decision makers, often in the form of legislators or representatives, have access to putting issues and policies on the agenda. Being placed on an agenda allows you to present your advocacy work directly to decision makers and may well determine the success of developing a policy proposal. Therefore, policy advocates must be ready to advocate for their proposal for social change. For this assignment, you will review 10 issues for activating change and consider how those apply to the problem you selected. So, in order, they are timing, coupling, framing and finding a title, negotiating and bargaining, assembling early sponsors and supporters, routing, media coverage, setting and getting key endorsements, coalition building, and momentum building. So you're going to submit a 2 to 3 page paper. And remember, I don't care if you go over, in which you briefly explain the concept of the agenda funnel. You tell me why context is important. You use the social problem you identified and explain how those 10 issues are essential to activate change regarding the selected social problem. You need 2 to 3 sentences for each of the 10 issues. See why I think it might go over 3 pages? Be sure to incorporate any sources you found related to your problem using standard APA format. And the rubric tells you that you need to incorporate specific examples from the learning resources or other scholarly resources to highlight the connection between the agenda funnel and the context. You can enhance or expand upon the application and evaluation with specific professional experiences. And if you don't have any of those, you have professional observations. So you need for the paper to meet the length requirements in terms of minimum and is generally error free and exceeds by showcasing an exemplary scholarly voice. Use one or fewer direct quotes, presents a polished APA style, citations, reference lists, and paper formatting are error free with two or few errors, and your tone and presentation are free from bias and objective.